Well, tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to other groups, they always going to fight and advocate for their people. Unlike the black people in the media who work for CNN and MSNBC, etc. Case in point, Vice President Kamala Harris was being interviewed, on a Spanish, network. And I want you to listen what they start asking her and advocating for their own people. Let's check this out.
I hear you, but I think my question is, right now we're talking about border security, and there's no Democrat talking about pathway to citizenship, and immigration relief, and the benefits that migrants bring to this country.
Oh, but there's no question that migrants bring. America is a country that was built in part by immigrants.
But people are concerned about their TPS, their DACA, we're talking about mass deportations.
I'm not talking about.
What do you stand on mass deportations? What's your stand there?
We need smart, humane immigration policy in America that includes a pathway to citizenship, putting more resources at the border in terms of security, honoring America's history as a country of immigrants, not vilifying people who are fleeing harm, but instead creating an orderly system for them to actually be able to make their case.
Now, did y'all see, how this Telemundo reporter was pressing her about immigration? He was pressing her about temporary protected status so people could stay in this country. He was also pressing her about citizenship. See, these people run up here and they do not want to leave. Nobody hates their homeland more than a lot of these immigrants that come to this country. They do not want to go back. They don't want to be there, but yet they'll be swinging their flag so hard about how they love their country so much, but they just do not want to be there. Now, this man, in my opinion, has some nerve, but she also got some nerve. Because you say, this country is built in part by immigrants. What immigrant was on them slavery plantations for 250 years? I'll definitely wait for y'all to tell me what immigrant did that. Because last time I checked, that was the freedmen that was on those plantations for 250 years. After the freedmen laid the foundation of this country, other people came in, and like when you had the Chinese come work on the railroad, the freedmen got the railroad started first. They just started to help add on to it. These other groups that came in, whether they come in from Europe or wherever they came from, right? They came in to do work after the foundation was already built by the hands of the freedmen. So no, immigrants did not build this country. It was the freedmen, the slaves. They built this country. That's number one. Number two, nobody need no pathway to citizenship. None of them. The only pathway to citizenship is you do it the legal way. Now, if you do it the legal way, go through the process, okay, cool. But this mass amnesty that these people want, no. Go fight in your homeland. Go build up your homeland and go make that a better place. Sit up here demanding the Vice President Kamala Harris, she become president, basically do amnesty. Now, I will say this much, she probably would do amnesty because Nancy Pelosi has said, well, it wouldn't be, none of them would be illegal if we just go ahead on and just do amnesty. Yeah, that's what she want. It's amnesty. And Kamala is an empty pantsuit. And she gonna do what Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama tell her to do, even if she become the president. I know that, right? Barack Obama said that he said he would do the job again if he could just sit in his basement and tell somebody else to do this and that and the third. He said that. But it's the thing. When we have a black reporter talking to her, they're not advocating for reparations. But when you have the Hispanic, he's advocating for amnesty. Y'all want to talk to her about some collard greens in the bathtub. Y'all don't want to talk about an anti-black hate crime bill. You don't want to press her about her record with black people. No, you want to ask her about Howard University and ski-weeing it up. You want to ask that, but you don't want to press her about something for the black community. How is it that every community that sit down with her, they're asking her for something for their people? But when it comes to the black ones, y'all just acting like y'all never been around somebody before and just giving her softball questions. What that silly Steve Harvey said, I'm not asking about all the reparations. This is an alley-oop. And I'm like, what? When you get in front of these people, you're supposed to be asking and demanding. Hey, what are you going to do for the black vote? What are you going to do for it? I just want to know. Are you going to do the reparations? Well, I support a study. That's not good enough. The only thing you got to say back to that is it wasn't no study done when you gave all this money to migrants. No study for that. So you don't need no study for reparations. Second question is say, well, they did a study for reparations in California, a good study. So you can take their study if you want it, but you do not need a study. That's done with already. California did a study. That's good enough. Start passing out the checks and get her to say, well, no, I'm not going to do no checks. I was like, okay, cool. Well, we're not going to vote for you. It's just that simple. But ladies and gentlemen, I will say this is that she's being pressed all over the place. But if she go on, that's why she didn't really want to say she's going to do mass amnesty, because she knows if she told that man she going to do mass amnesty or she going to make everybody TPS be good and all that, she knows she would lose immediately. Well, she's already on the verge of losing, but she would solidify the loss if she get on there saying she going to do amnesty. She know a lot of people don't want that in this country. She know a lot of people are sick and tired of the border issue in this country. She knows. Why you think she's not really rah-rahing it up about immigrants like she used to? Because that is a very touchy subject. And Trump is doing very well on that particular issue. He's doing extremely well. So other groups advocate, but the people that we have, your D.L. Hewley, your Ricky Smiley, Charlemagne, you would think of anybody who did interviews with her. Nobody pressed her about no reparations or anti-black hate crime bill or nothing. And that's why black folks don't get nothing. Because we got people in front of them who could be asking these questions, they say nothing. And that's been the biggest problem. See, she wouldn't interview with somebody like me. Now, I would treat her with much respect. I wouldn't dare disrespect her at all. I don't disrespect no guests that come on my show. None. I wouldn't dare disrespect nobody. But you will be asked the hard questions. And whatever she say is what she say. That's it. We would just like say, hey, yeah, okay, that's your answer? Okay. All right, let's move on to the next thing. And that's it. That's it. But she won't sit down with people like myself. Oh, no.